Page 16. The Bible tells us that the number of children that came from this polygamous Jacob were many. Moses said that all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls. See Exodus chapter 1, verse 5. And furthermore, that the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceedingly mighty. Exodus chapter 1, verse 7. God's bestowal of these wonderful blessings is no more than any father could ask for his children and posterity. Let's see here. After Jacob had lived polygamy for 17 years, God appeared to him again and blessed him and told him to continue to be fruitful and multiply, promising him that a company of nations and also kings would come out of his loins. Genesis chapter 35, verse 11. But God never said a word about getting rid of any of his wives. For 286 years prior to the death of Joseph, God hardly had an earthly communication except with the polygamists and their sons. Then going forward in time for 1,635 years, the descendants of the polygamists continued to be the chosen and the favorites of his attention. Our Lord told us to judge a tree by its fruits. God has certainly shown his love, attention, and special blessings in the genealogical tree of the polygamists. We learn from these plain Bible truths that these polygamists had more exalted and divine honors conferred upon them and their sons, and more great precious promises made to them than all the millions of monogamists who had inhabited the earth. These facts speak for themselves. We're on page 62 and we're 81% through with the reading for today. The lives and writings of the polygamists were preponderant in the Bible and hold precedent over all the others. Jacob's polygamous family was selected of God to establish the chosen nation, the messianic race through which would come the Savior of the world. As carefully as the genealogy of Christ was kept, he was allowed to be born through a lineage of polygamists. How could such a thing happen? Indeed, it was one of the principal objects in keeping such records, to show that the lineage was sacred. In concluding this chapter, let us consider the special favors God granted Jacob. Number 1, the Lord greatly blessed Jacob both before and after he became a polygamist. His taking of other wives apparently did not offend God. Number 2, Jacob was a polygamist when he received revelations, visions, and a host of angels conversing with him. Are not these spiritual gifts from God only conferred upon the righteous? Number 3, if polygamy were a sin, God failed to inform Jacob about it. Why would God overlook such a terrible sin in this man and bless him and his children for their righteousness? Number 4, Jacob lived plural marriage to the time of his death. Yet Jesus said that Jacob was in the kingdom of heaven. See Matthew chapter 8, verse 11. Apparently, polygamy will not keep a man out of heaven, but rather is the means of helping him to get there. Page 63. 5. The name of Jacob is mentioned over 300 times in the Bible because of his righteousness. If polygamy were sinful, why would the writers of the Bible call Jacob a righteous man? Number 6. If polygamy were sinful, why did Rachel give Bilhah to her husband and he accept it as being morally right? Don't the actions of Rachel tend to be an example of self-sacrifice, showing that she acted from a higher motive than just her earthly marriage to Jacob, or I might add, her own selfishness? Just throwing that out there for all those women who hate polygamy so much. Number 7. Doesn't the fact that God greatly blessed Jacob and his children prove that the manner in which they were born is approved by God? Number 8, Jacob received blessings and promises greater than nearly any other prophet in the Bible. If monogamy is more acceptable than polygamy, why didn't God reserve such blessings for them? Number 9, the 12 sons of this polygamous Jacob became known as the house of Israel, and their names will be emblazoned over the gates that lead into heaven. See Revelations chapter 21, verse 12. And by the way, the only people who get into heaven, they have to go through the gates which are named after the tribe that they are adopted into or that they are naturally born into, which every single gate of the 12 gates of the city of God in the book of Revelations chapter 21, verse 12, they're all Israelite gates. There are no Gentiles in heaven. You have to become adopted into the house of Israel in order to come through those gates. If these sons were born into sin, would God put their names on heaven's gate? 10. Jacob was told by God that he was a prince with God at a time when he had been living with 4 wives for many years. The life and labors of Jacob attest to his faithfulness to God, but what greater witness do we have of this than his own testimony when he said, I have seen God face to face. Genesis chapter 32, verse 30. So when we come back on tomorrow, we're going to be in chapter 8, and we'll talk about the life of Moses, and that'll be on page 64. And hopefully I won't have any problems. Like, I've had some sinus problems and a little bit of a head cold. Luckily, I can pause the recording when I need to cough, or pause it if I have to, get up and do something. But just I have COVID right now, in case somebody didn't listen to the program yesterday. And my whole body is sore. And I throw up when I eat, and I have diarrhea. I know, nobody wants to hear that, but it's the case. That's what's going on with me. I haven't had any respiratory problems other than just the head cold, but my daughter and I tested positive for COVID yesterday, and I'm pretty sure my wife has had it twice. And I'm pretty sure she's the one that gave it to my son Emmett, who's 16. And then he was diagnosed last week with it. And Emmett doesn't know how to wash his hands to save his life. And he touches everything. And he's just a pain in the butt. Because he's 16 and he's a boy and he has Asperger's, which compounds the whole issue. But that's what we're dealing with right now. And luckily, I have vacation time that I can use to be sick with COVID, which really sucks because I have so many things that I would like to do, but if I don't have vacation time, I can't do them, or I'll get fired. And I like this job, but I feel like I'm in bondage to this job. And I want to go to Sunstone. I want to go to Pesach or Passover. I'd like to go to the Purim thing. I would like to go to all of the different things I'm invited to all the time. But at the same time, when I get out of the truck, I'm tired and I just want to lay down and rest because my body, even though I'm sore right now because of the COVID, I'm always sore. My body always hurts. So, I don't know. Anyway, the guest call-in number is 917-889-8827. That's 917-889-8827. And we'll take any questions or comments about theology at this point if we have any. But I'm just grateful that people, that some of you actually do listen to these programs. By the way, I have been putting the screen recordings for the new programs for the reading, the reader program reading on YouTube. I don't want to get flagged for talking about COVID on YouTube, so that's why I haven't been uploading the newer programs. I've been uploading the older programs to YouTube because I did a little bit. I did say that God told me that the cure will be worse than the sickness, and I can see that playing out right now. But I read a lot, and most people don't read a lot, so they just take what they're given. Anyway, I better get this uploaded before the program has to start. So thank you for listening, everyone. Take care. Okay, so I was actually looking at Facebook, and people were commenting on my posts and arguing with me about polygamy. But I told them to call in if they had a problem with it. But, he whose deeds are evil cometh not unto the light. So people don't call in because I don't know. Anyway, there's always these lines open and available for anyone to call in, and the chat room's there. And
can you hear me?
Whatever. So, yes, I can hear you. Go ahead, Kim.
Oh, was I muted all the rest of the whole time?
I muted you on the studio.
Okay. Well, there was one thing. Like, I know how people argue this whole thing, right? I know how they argue all of the little arguments.
I don't hear you anymore. Are you in the back with the goats, Kim? I think my wife is back in the car with the goats, and we don't have cell phone reception on that part of our property. Oh, it just said that her phone dropped. So we'll wait for her to come back in. Emma, did she say she was going out to do the goats?
She didn't say anything to me. The last text I got from her said come to me because she wanted everyone to go out and get everything.
You should go down and get me one of those sugar-free popsicles that Mom bought me. I asked her to buy them for me because my throat kind of hurts. And then I know she did. So we're just waiting for my wife to call back in because she did have something to say. So I would like to hear what that is. But anybody else can call in. The guest call-in number is 917-889-8827. That's 917-889-8827. And maybe I can try to call her. Let's see, invite co-host. Oh, I don't know how that works. Oh, that's a different thing. Emma, why are you texting on your phone and unmuted?
Oh, I don't know.
Because I can
thought
hear
I was
you
muted.
pounding on your buttons.
I just told Mom that she left the call, like in case she didn't realize that she was still talking or something.
Okay, I'm going to try to call her using the studio.
Okay. I don't know how to do that, but okay.
If you have the studio on just above where the call-in, people who have called in, there's it looks like a phone. You just push that, and then it'll let you enter in the number. And then it'll call her.
I called her, and she called at the same time.
Please leave your message for 435-630-7585.
Stop. Seriously?
I hit cancel.
That really makes me angry. Because I don't want people knowing my wife's phone number, and now it's recorded on the program.
Yeah. That's annoying.
Stupid. I know, I hit cancel too. As soon as I heard it, I was hitting cancel, and it didn't hang up because stupid studio has a lag or something. Seriously. She needs to put her, name on it and stop. Well, damage is done, so I don't know. I'm not going to redo this program, so. Hold on. I'm going to call her on my phone, my other phone that is Lydia's phone that she doesn't get anymore because she doesn't know how to listen.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, are you going to call back into the show or what?
I didn't know if you could hear me or not, or if it just dropped.
It dropped. I know you're out back trying to do goats, so I'm waiting for you to. I can't merge you in. I'm using Lydia's cell phone.
Oh.
I have you on speakerphone, but I don't. Okay. Well. Wait, can't you just drive up front so that you can say whatever you need to say?
Mama Goat got out of the pen that she's supposed to be in, and Baby Goat is not out with her. And Murray is way up, the baby can't eat because Luke is all over her, won't let her do anything.
Okay.
So, trying to help separate. Okay, Lydia's putting Baby Goat out with my mom, I guess.
Okay.
Anyways, I'm just trying to help.
Okay.
Do you want me to try to call in again?
That'd be nice. I'd like to hear what you have to say.
Okay, bye.
Okay, so she's going to try to call back in. Apparently, Mama Goat decided that she didn't want to be in her field anymore. So she jumped, and Big Goat can't get to her. And Mama Goat is bagged up with a ton of milk because the baby goat hasn't been eating.
Hi.
Anyway, okay, so Kim, what did you have to say? You were trying to say something?
I was just trying to say something about the whole, so when they were talking about the polygamy, in the instance that it helps men get to, the celestial kingdom or to heaven, that to me is really hard to understand because from what I can understand, to create celestial families and stuff, it takes, it takes a man to be sealed up only because you have to be sealed man and woman together, right? So, and that's how you can get there. So, because there's so many women, I suppose is what they say, so many women who are faithful, valiant, good people, I guess, yeah, the elect, they need to be sealed up, and so since there is lack of men but a lot of women, you need to put that back because it will break up.
Okay, now you're talking to Lydia.
Sorry, she grabbed the phone. Okay, anyway, so what I was saying was just that it's hard for me to understand why, what it was saying on there, why is it essential for a male to be sealed to more females? Because he could be sealed to one female and be fine.
Yeah, he doesn't have to. So Brigham Young taught a false doctrine about if you want your kingdom to be bigger, then you must marry more wives. Because he didn't understand plural celestial marriage, and he was doing things in a way that was not pleasing to God. So what I was shown was that one man being sealed to one woman is all that is needed. However, because there are many more elect females than there are males, these women they need to be married to an elect man that are sealed to him at least. And it
would be the other way around if there was more men, right? Is what you're saying?
Yes. And,
okay.
So if there were more elect males than there were females, it would be polyandry. And there is polyandry, and there is a place for polyandry, even in our whatever. But the majority of it is that, everybody should be monogamous unless they're told to do it. But God does have to, in order for these women to receive exaltation.
I know your outlook on it. Yeah, I know your outlook on it and stuff. I was just I try to piece that part together. Like, and I know, like, if you are living in a polygamous relationship with other females, like, that is going to be the hardest thing for anybody to live through, honestly, because the nitpicky girl drama that happens is crazy. You know what I mean? So
it can
that's
be,
why
but
I'm like,
do you think that our friends who live polygamy have that kind of drama?
I don't think they do. I think it's just different.
Yeah, maybe.
But they try to overlook it.
Yeah, they try to get over their carnal, whatever, their girl drama.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think so. I mean, I think it's just different for different people. There's always something, you know, for some women it's like I'm not sharing my kitchen with another woman. For some it's like I'm not sharing, you know, like, I don't know, utensils. I don't know what it is, but there's always something, right? I know a woman who is like, I don't want anybody to touch my dryer. Like, do not touch my washing machine or my dryer, you know? So it's like, okay, well, that's, you know, interesting. So, I mean, it just depends. And with all of the different people, you know what I mean? With men, it's like, don't touch my tools, you know? So.
Yes, Emmett, don't touch my tools.
You know, with all the things, it's hard. Like, it's hard enough to find a compatible individual, that you can stand their crap for the rest of your life. So, like, trying to find that with more is, like, I don't know, beyond me. So I could see why it would, like, help women to be, you know, more compassionate or more patient, more kind, more forgiving, more, you know, loving women. But as for the men, you know, they are not having to share or having to, you know, anything.
I don't know. I think that I just think it would be like a stick in the spokes of your bike. You know, like you're going along all happily married with your husband or wife, whoever, and then you add somebody into the family, and it would be difficult, I think. Then there could be the potential for drama and turn, like, it could just, I don't know. I'm kind of scared of polygamy a little bit, but I don't know. Do you think that, so we're friends with the people who owned Cody Brown's house when he lived in Lehi, Utah, before they moved to Las Vegas. And they have, 3 different living areas in that house?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they've got 3 different kitchens as well. Because there's one downstairs on the other side, and then there's one upstairs, and one of them's like whatever, and then the other one has her own kitchen, and I think they all have different dryers and washers, and anyway, but I always thought it'd be cool if I had to be a polygamist to buy you know that apartment complex down in Farron that I used to live in when I took the mail? So they were selling that for $120,000, and it's 4 different apartments with 2 bedrooms in each apartment. And I thought, well, if I had to live polygamy, it would be cool to buy that apartment complex and then build onto the front and have a common living area where the whole family could come together and eat and all of the stuff. But then each of the wives has her own home that she lives in. Or do you think it would be better if what Cody Brown eventually did is he went and bought up 4 houses in a cul-de-sac one for each of his wives, and he doesn't really have a home, but he kind of visits all of his wives' homes. You'd probably like that situation more than you'd like the other kind, right? If you had to live it.
Yeah, I just would want my own space, and then, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't.
Well, I won't say last names, but do you like the way Charlotte and Melissa have their home with their husband?
Sort of.
Because Melissa has her side, and she can close the door, and, you know, she doesn't need to go into the other part of the house. Charlotte has her side, and she doesn't need to go into the other part of the house. And then our friend doesn't have 3 wives, but his brother lives downstairs in that other apartment. But if he had 3 wives, you know, that would be her home. And, like, they all open up the doors or whatever and visit with each other and whatever. But, like, Charlotte and Melissa both have their own kitchens and their own living areas.
Yeah. I don't know. I would like to live like that with, like, my family or my sisters. But I don't want to live that way with another woman. With you.
Yeah, that your husband is married to, that you're, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I get it. Like, if we were
that.
to live polygamy, like, I totally could get it. You know, I've done all the things that God asked me to do. So I'm pretty sure I would do what God asked me to do if that had, if that was the case, right?
Yeah.
But I highly doubt that I would be capable of living it the way that you would want me to. I'd be like,
Excuse me. I have never told you how I want to live it or what I want to live or even if I want to live it. So I don't know where you're coming up with that. But what I was saying is that you've got this one thing where you all live in one house, but it's separated. And then the other way is you've got, like, our friend Kevin, and one of his wives lives in one house and one of his wives lives in another house. Or like Cody Brown and his wives. You know, they live in separate houses. There's 4 houses, which, oh my gosh, that's like $800 million worth of houses, you know, so they can all have their own separate house, which is nuts to me, but, like, that's how they live it. And, like, our friend Kevin, his wives don't even live next to each other. I don't know how far they are apart because I've never been to one of the wives' houses. And I like her, and we're always happy to see her, but we've never been to our house. We always go over to his other wife's house. So, I don't know what I don't know why that, I don't know if they decided to live that way for one reason or another. But I don't know. I've just seen people different ways. But, you know, I'm pretty sure there's polygamists that live all together in the same house. And I don't think you would ever want to do that. Because you don't want, you know, you've got your kids and your washer and dryer and your sink and your stove and your way that you have things. And I completely understand that.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't see it, so I would have to just I'd definitely get a ton of revelation on it, on like, okay, what exactly is it that you're requiring of me? Yeah. Like, yeah. So, what exactly is it that I have to do about this?
So Emmett is safe not having to be kicked out of his bedroom when we have to be called to live polygamy as the second master bedroom in our house. Emmett, for those of you that don't know, his bathroom is on the other side of the house from ours, and he has a king-size bed in his room because it's our old bed, and the bathroom is right next to his so it's kind of like a master's bedroom. But anyway, I'm just kind of teasing him, and I can see he's still on, but I think he's muted.
I'm muted.
I just kind of. You unmuted?
No, I am muted. I'm being the quiet.
I was just teasing you.
I know, I can hear.
Oh, okay. Anyway, well, I guess, hopefully this COVID doesn't get any worse for me, and I can be on tomorrow again, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific, and we'll go over the life of Moses tomorrow, and I'll try to get the whole thing recorded before 6, so I don't have to read during the program. I like doing that because if I have to cough or if I have to stop and run to the bathroom, which has happened a couple of times today, I can just pause it and then I come back and I just start where I left off, and there's no break. So anyway, we'll be talking about the life of Moses tomorrow, and thank you, Kim, for your input, and thank you, Emmett, for your muting. I think he's muted again.
Welcome.
Okay. All right. I guess we'll just be done with the program. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Take care, everyone. God bless. And goodbye.
Demi Moore gives a career best performance in the explosive new horror movie that everyone's talking about, The Substance. Co-starring Margaret Qualley and Dennis Quaid, Rolling Stone hails the film as an instant classic, and Vogue calls it a total knockout. The Substance is now playing only in theaters. Visit Mubi.com/substance to get tickets now. That's MUBI.com/substance. Rated R. Under 17, not admitted without guardian.
In the dynamic world of programmatic ad buying, Viant is your ultimate CTV partner. Target with precision. Buy with confidence. Viant empowers you with AI-driven technology that reaches your audience where they engage most, ensuring your message hits home. And the campaign results? Transparent, thanks to Viant's advanced measurement suite. For media buyers who demand the best, Viant delivers. Viant, elevate your CTV campaign performance.